Alright guys, welcome back to another game. Today I wanted to start a new series where we kind of shine a spotlight on players who don't always make the headlines. You know, these are players who are kind of in the top 50, maybe the top 100, and they're really quality, high quality players. We don't always see them in the big S tier tournaments, but they are able to compete with the top players in the game, and on occasion they are players who are able to give the top ranked players a run for their money. So without any further ado, let's get into it. We've got Neozz playing in the blue as the Japanese. Obviously we're playing on 4 lakes here, so Japanese very high tier civ for this map, I would say. And then we've got Hera, who needs no introduction really, but the current #1 playing as the Shu, one of the kind of newer civs who we kind of have seen introduced in the most recent DLC. They're quite an interesting kind of flexible civ. They get extra food, like a very small food trickle for I think it's every 10 wood they get, and they're kind of geared towards kind of archers. They also have an interesting unique unit with the White Feather Guard, which is kind of like a spear kind of infantry unit, and the War Chariot, which is an interesting kind of siege unit. So it'll be interesting to see how these two civs match off against one another. Personally, I think that 4 lakes is a fantastic map. It's so fun. I think it is one of those maps where you have a different game every time you play it, and you know, variety is really the spice of life here. We've got Neozz kind of taking advantage of that great Japanese early eco with the cheaper eco buildings, and he's able to get his dock up a little early compared to Hera, who's not quite got his dock up yet. Hera's gone for 6 on wood, which I really like. He's going clearly kind of making the most of his eco bonus. Normally you go for 5. He's going to get that extra food trickle in. This will also let him go for his dock now, and I wouldn't be surprised as well whether he might be able to do a little bit more walling than he otherwise would, with the extra wood income he's got from the extra vills on wood, and that will be really quite nice for him. He could also just like put an extra couple of fishing ships out as well. That's always worthwhile. So we've got the kind of hunt and boars coming in now. Might kind of speed things up for this start. For the start of the game. Now, normally I kind of feel that Japanese are very well to do to get that kind of man-at-arms play on this map, and maybe you can obviously compete on the water with the extra armor on the fishing ships, which is really nice, but their man-at-arms are the kind of stars of the show in the feudal age. I feel like Hera's map is quite easy to wall on this side, kind of harder to wall on the other side, but it's not impossible. He could dedicate quite a few fills to walling up. It looks like Neozz is probably able to wall up towards this side of the map, but he might not be able to completely wall out his pond. And then he's got a bit of a gaping hole in the wood lines on the left-hand side of his base. Both players clicking up to feudal at a roughly kind of quite similar time, and Hera's just got the edge there. However, Neozz is already thinking about feudal age aggression. Looks like he is dropping down a barracks, and he is sending out one of his own vills. He has presumably scouted that Hera is on this lake. Love that Hera has already tracked for the dock. He's just saw the fishing ship go out there. He might just miss it though. I'm not sure how much line of sight fishing ships have. I would almost be tempted to put the dock here if I was Neozz, because it kind of like hides the dock a little bit more. I don't think, let's slow this right down. Unfortunately, I don't think that Hera is going to be able to see that. Man-at-arms coming in now. I've completely missed that. Neozz has gone for a tower. He's gone for a tower. He's going to take a lot of HP off Hera's scout here. I don't know whether Hera necessarily wants that. And also the man-at-arms are coming in. So already Hera is kind of under a lot of pressure here. Hera is forced to kind of make these walls, which are kind of not really ideal at this point. He has got an archery ranger up, so he should be able to push the man-at-arms away relatively soon. He has actually won the scout battle, really good for him. However, he is going to start coming under pressure from the fire ships of his opponent. It looks like Hera might be able to... I don't think he'll be able to snipe this Phil. The man-at-arms coming over now. Oh, if Neozz can take this, Ville, that's going to be massive, just in terms of repairing the fire ships and whatnot. It looks like the tower war is kind of underway here. Neozz losing the tower, it looks like, but he is able to do something for now. And this is massive because if you think about it, Hera's wood eco is what he needs to sustain the war on water over on this pond. So Neozz is able to kind of distract his opponent and go double dock. Hera's forced up to double dock himself. However, again, Hera's wood eco is just not secure at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Hera go for another wood line when he has the wood, but he doesn't really have the wood eco he needs for this. I would love... Okay, it looks like Hera is going to be able to probably sneak these, maybe take out this Will. And, okay, so Hera's going to be able to take out the man-at-arms. I don't know whether Hera is going to win water here. Like, it's going to be really close, and it looks like Hera is really running into problems with the fire galleys here. It looks like Hera is going to clean up most of the man-at-arms, but this tower is still there, and Hera's woodline is still absolutely atrocious. And there's no second woodline yet. He doesn't have the wood income to go for a second woodline and sustain the fire galley production. And oh my goodness, I feel like actually killing that Vil would have been worthwhile there. Kill the fishing ships. Go to the fishing ship. Go for the fishing ship, man. Ah, you always got... Okay, I mean, this is going pretty well for Neozz. He's got a bit of a Vil lead. He's got more ships on his pond. He's doing a good job of taking water over here. He is going to lose this Vil by the looks of it. Not the end of the world. He has, I would say, maybe gone a little bit overboard in terms of demo RAS, but they are there if Hera does want to come back on water. And currently, Hera is in a very tricky position. He has managed to take out this tower, which is really big. It will help him kind of regain control of that wood line, and he is going for the second wood line as well. Okay, I think that's wise. In the meantime, Neozz is going to follow this up with a blacksmith and an archery range, which is pretty standard follow-up to man-at-arms. And he's going to wall off on this side. I think that makes a lot of sense. What I would love Neozz to do is to dock over here. Neozz, you are reading my mind. He's not even reading my mind. He's seeing the future, because I hadn't even suggested it, and he's already got a villager over there. He is one step ahead, and Hera isn't on any of the ponds yet, and he's got no fishing ships, so his economy is really starting to suffer. It looks like Hera might actually start to take this out, but it's not like... You know, at this... Oh, no, don't... Ah, Neozz, my man. Okay, so Neozz is distracted over here. Completely missed that. This is such a messy game, man. It looks like Hera is going to... He sniped a couple of Vils, but nothing major. And Neozz is going to make a strategic outpost over here, as you do. And we're going to see... It looks like Hera's reclaiming this pond. But, you know, at this point... Look at the resource difference, right? Look at the Vil difference, or the economic unit difference. This is so far in favour of Neozz right now. He's going to be able to get a couple of fish out on this pond. It looks like Hera is recognising that that he does need to expand. I am quite curious as to which of these players is going to realise that they're both on the same pond first. And Neozz is also expanding to the third pond. So this is a really, really nice feudal age for Neozz. I'm not entirely sure why Hera's score is so close to Neozz. It may well be scouting at this point. They've got very similar villager numbers, and of course Neozz is running away in terms of the fishing ship count. Neozz is now walling up. He does anticipate a counter-attack. However, Neozz has everything he needs to counter any sort of archer play from Hera at the moment. He doesn't quite have the armor upgrade on the skirms. To be honest, I think, yeah, I was about to say, I think it's worth getting it, particularly if you've already clicked up to castle. Like, why take the risk? It looks like he's going to be alright now. And Hera is kind of showing off his micro there. He's going to lose a couple of archers, but he managed to kill a lot more skirms than I would have. Love to see it. Hera has dropped a stable, it looks like. Has he dropped a stable? Yeah, he has. I was just thinking his scout was on like 1 HP. Didn't he lose his scout earlier? So it looks like Hera is going to kind of commit to feudal a little bit more, but he's not too far off Kato himself. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets up. Yeah, he'll get up now. There you go. So it looks like Neozz is kind of setting the board to go for maybe some crossbow play into cavalry archers. We still haven't seen either of these players quite realise that they're on the same pond. I think this is quite nice for Neozz though. He is continuing to boom up. And he's queued up a fire galley in this pond. He's queued up one in both. So he's kind of aware that Hera is probably going to be expanding. I feel like Neozz is being quite intimidated by Hera's micro here. And obviously I understand why. He is Hera, after all. But you do wonder, you know, once you've got the extra defense, you should be able to take those archers, at least with a couple of skirms. I suppose he's only got the one skirm for now. Crossbow coming in, Bodkin coming in, love to see it. And Neozz is going to head on his merry way over to his opponent's base. He hasn't got bloodlines. In fact, he hasn't got a stable yet. So it is important to note that. Obviously, cavalry archers are fantastic, but they do need all of those upgrades to come in to really get to their full potential. We're seeing a couple of villagers go onto stone for Neozz. He's probably thinking about TCs rather than, say, a castle drop. And we're seeing early ballistics, which is fantastic. Really clear power spike. And even though Hera is not far behind, this is going to be quite a clear power spike now for Neozz, who's already got all of the castle upgrades that he needs for the time being. We are continuing, oh my goodness, we're continuing to see a bit of a villager fight on the water, and Hera's water economy is once again under pressure and being wiped out. We're seeing War Galley come in. I do like that. I think kind of recognizing that your opponent is committing further to water is kind of worthwhile here. Hera is putting a lot of pressure on this gold, and I think that is the one thing that is keeping Hera in this game, is that he's able to put a lot of pressure on his opponent's gold. However, Neozz does have this wonderful back gold here. He doesn't have any vills under this TC, so it would be quite easy for Hera to just run through. For the time being, Neozz is content to just mash a couple of skirms of his own. He's getting elite skirmisher, as these players are, oh my goodness, they're all over the map. We're seeing Neozz kind of opt to snipe the vills. He's probably going to lose most of this army, but he is going to take down a lot of villagers. And bearing in mind that Hera is only 1 TC right now, I mean, I don't know how many vills he just took out, but it was quite a lot. Look at the eco-kill ratio right here. Crazy. And bearing in mind Hera is 1 TC, he's really going to feel that right now. Also, I mean, Hera's taking out a couple of vills here, but it's really not that many. And again, like, Hera's score is insane right now, but it's a bit of a lie, if I'm honest. Neozz has the counterplay right here. He's getting the extra defense for his skirm, so the arrows from his opponent will simply bounce off. And oh my goodness, it looks like Hera is trying to go for the final pond, but even before that, his opponent has the fire galley out, so it's going to be quite difficult for him to get on there indeed. And Burstick's finally coming in for Hera. I wouldn't be surprised once Neozz can get another town centre, he should be. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the score kind of really start to explode. And Hera's piling on the pressure. I think he probably knows that he needs to make something happen, so he's going for the ram, which I kind of love. Neozz does have a siege workshop of his own, so he should be able to push this back. That being said, this is, you can tell Hera is like, I've had enough of this. I'm gonna show off why I'm the #1 player, and he's kind of microing his ass off on these units right now. Love to see it. And Villager has been taken out over here. That's really nice for Neozz. He gets to continue with his secure fish economy. However, Hera is pushing in through here. He is taking out the Rangers. I love that Neozz has kind of recognized that he's got like a solid food economy. He can switch in a couple of knights. He probably like doesn't need the +2 if he gets like bloodlines and the +1. He should be okay to more hurt these skirms, and then he should be able to take out the mangoes and the skirms. Hera is adding the Hei Guang cavalry himself, which is, I'm pretty sure, if memory serves, it's kind of like more like a bowyer, right, than a knight. So it's a very good counter kind of cavalry serve, and this is quite a scary combo to deal with for Neozz here. Double stable coming down, market coming up. Oh, triple stable. Oh my goodness. So Neozz is reacting to this. Maybe he's living in fear here, maybe more than he should be. Because it's not like his opponent has that many of the cavalry units. That being said, Hera's push is slowly eradicating Neozz's kind of forward production buildings. Neozz manages to get 1 for 1 on the Mangonel wars here, and he's lost both of his rangers, shortly to lose the third. And Neozz is just consequently being forced further and further into this corner. He's released the knights over here to kind of clean up this small little force from Hera. That's going to buy him a little bit of time. He might be able to snipe this Mangonel, not quite, but I think if Neozz is able to save up for the +2, he kind of clears all of this. That was a really nice attack round from Hera there. Is he gonna... okay, not quite able to save the Mangonel. I think... Oh, repair! Repair! He's not gonna repair! No! I think Neozz is kind of stabilizing. I kind of say that, but literally he's got Mangonels right outside his TC. Neozz is doing the right play here. He's going for a counter raid. I think that makes a lot of sense, and he's going to get more villager kills here. This is a crazy game right now, and look at Hera's vill count. Like, Hera's got 50 economic units compared to the 70 of his opponent. Bearing in mind, the big difference here isn't actual vills, it's actually the fishing economies of the respective players. We are seeing, oh my goodness, I didn't quite realize this, Neozz fish is kind of running out, so this is putting him in a really tricky position. His fish is kind of keeping him in the game at the moment. Like, Hera is really piling on the pressure. It looks like Neozz is going to be shortly without a town centre. That is insane. The +2 defense coming in now right at the right moment. However, oh, I mean, that wasn't a great shot from Hera. I think okay, that was a really good shot from Hera. Hera managing to snipe the cavalry with the Mangonels, which is insane. Wow, I wish I could do that. Very jealous. And Hera, it kind of I think he's just about losing most of his army here. Neozz currently does not have a town centre. Let's just appreciate that, everybody. Hera still has this force on the front. And we need a town centre now from Neozz. Like, literally, currently Neozz has a little bit more idle TC time, but that would be way more if the idle TC counter took into account actually not having a TC. More Mangonel shots coming in there. Hera's, I mean, who thought that Mangonels counted knights, right? Only in the hands of one of the greats of the game. Monastery coming up here. I'm pretty sure Japanese get redemption, right? So that could actually be really useful. Yeah, they do. Really useful for Neozz. And Neozz, my man, like, where's what's up with not getting a TC? You've got to market. Buy yourself a little bit of stone, buy yourself a little bit of wood. And he's currently in such a weird position. I think Hera appreciates that he's able now to kind of boom back into this. So he is actually going to get another TC himself. What a crazy game. Town Watch coming in. Hera's got the... he's got a monastery, isn't he, coming up over here. This TC coming up right in the nick of time. Really nice for... Oh my goodness, like Hera, what is this for Hera, man? These quick walls are insane. It looks like Hera is going to try and get back onto water. TC coming back up over here for Neozz. He's going to get back into it. Bearing in mind, he doesn't have the Vil lead, but he still has the EQ lead. So he just needs to kind of keep this going. He hasn't quite seen, I guess, yeah, it looks like he hasn't quite seen that there are still fish over here. And that's a real shame because, you know, I feel like his food eco would be so much healthier with these 7 fishing trips, like, actively working. Neozz is actively raiding his opponent now. Even with the 2 TCs, Hera still doesn't have that many more villagers, 48 to 55. Monks coming out now, so that should put an end to Neozz's kind of push. I would love Neozz to get a monk out and start converting some of these siege workshops. He's got the map control at the moment. It's also worth remembering that Neozz does have all the upgrades he needs for his skirms. So, like, right now, going crossbow to counter the knight isn't ideal. It looks like these skirms are going to be cleared up, but I would say that's actually a solid trade for Neozz. Like, he's lost like 5 skirms for maybe like 6 or 7 crossbows. And Neozz is all over Hera right now. It looks like the tables have turned and Hera is losing a lot of villagers. He's almost down to the same amount, bearing in mind that he's been producing a lot more, bearing in mind that Neozz didn't have a TC for several minutes this game. Villagers are going down as they try to karate chop the villagers to death. Obviously, Hera's villagers are trained in Kung Fu, and Hera is trying to get onto this lake. I think that makes sense. Take out some of Neozz's fishing economy. Hera kind of realizes how important the fishing economy is for his opponent right now, and it looks like Neozz is going to stop the skirmishers from raiding Neozz is going to stop Hera's skirm from raiding the fishing eco over here. Neozz is pushing forward with a really solid army comp of monks, knights, and skirmishers. The knights aren't fully upgraded, but they do have the defense upgrades, don't have the attack upgrades just yet. Looks like Hera is forced to drop a castle because he realizes how in danger he is. The castle, it's denied for the time being, but let's be honest, like, when your TC is that close to your castle, it's only a matter of time until that castle goes up. Hera is... he's kind of defending with the crossbows, but when the skirms have ballistics and the extra +2 attack, this crossbow mass is going to go down very, very quickly indeed. Converting a Vil there, love to see it. And Hera and Neozz didn't have a TC for 5 minutes, and now he is drawing villager numbers. He is beating Hera in terms of villager numbers. That is absolutely insane. Hera able to get his castle up. Is he going to start going for some White Feather Guard? I'm not super familiar with White Feather Guard, so I don't know how they kind of match up in a situation like this. Ideally, Neozz might have been able to convert that if... one sec, did he actually get redemption in the end? Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, well. But yeah, he lost the monk there. He does have 2 relics, so that's quite nice. Worth keeping an eye on. Second TC coming up for Neozz. He feels like he's able to stabilize a little bit now. I would really like... I didn't quite realize that Hera even had a 3rd TC up. And look at the score. Like, what is with this score, man? Like, 5k res... Neozz has gathered 5k more res than his opponent, and Hera is kind of like hemorrhaging villagers right now. They're neck and neck in terms of villager numbers. Look at the eco kill ratio right here. Mangonel coming out, so how long is this TC for this world? Who knows? I enjoy that Hera has a number of knights which his Civ doesn't formally have access to, I believe. So that's kind of fun. And it looks like, I say things are stabilizing. Things are more stable than they have been for a little while, as Neozz is just hammering away at this TC, and Hera might get a number of these conversions, these skirmishes over here. Sniping the monks is really nice for him. Hera microing this old man, making this old man dance way better than I do on a Friday night, and Hera is gonna lose most of his army here, I think. It's still kind of unclear though. Neozz finally going into the Japanese kind of power unit, the cavalry archer. 2 conversions for Hera though means that he doesn't quite have the numbers right now, and oh my goodness, there's so much. I can't even keep up with what is going on here. The Mangonel's managing to continue to hammer down on Hera's TC as these villagers have to evacuate, and Neozz knows what's up. He's not going to let these villagers get away, and he is going to chase these villagers down. I feel like Hera losing this many villagers, 16 builds, would be a massive blow to his eco at the moment. What is that, like almost a third of his economy, like a little bit less than a third. So that would be really, really big. It looks like these ones are probably going to get chased down as well, but it looks like these will get away. So Neozz is kind of coming after Hera. He's got more villagers than his opponent. He's got 3 TCs. However, Hera now has 3 of the ponds. Most of the fish have been taken out of this pond, but there is still quite a lot there. How much is that? 1,000 food, that could get you up to imp. And, you know, there's more fish in this pond as well. So Hera is not out of this yet, and the score definitely gives him an advantage. Hera making this game messy, going for the castle. Is Neozz going to realise this? Oh, more raids coming in now for Hera. Neozz just about clinching the score lead. And this is so annoying. I hate it when my opponents do this to me, like just drop a sneaky castle where it's some way you're not really paying attention to. But it is what it is. And the White Feather Guard are now making an appearance. They seem to be relatively resistant to cav archers, but I guess there's only the 3 units over here. Forcing a tower from Hera. Hera is kind of trying to defend his woodlines at the moment, and actually I've kind of realized like most of his woodlines aren't actually that safe. Like this one is completely decimated, this one is under a lot of pressure, and these ones are just not in Hera's control at all. Neozz is continuing to go for the relics. I really love that. Hera has kind of locked down this side of the map. Kind of works out for Neozz in some way that he has taken most of this gold. I really love the tower though. That's such a sneaky tower. Neozz saying, you know what, you're going to do a sneaky castle? I'm going to do a sneaky tower. How do you feel about that? And Hera is just forced into this corner right now, and Hera is holding on for dear life whilst Neozz is focusing down his opponent. I think Neozz needs to just establish his food economy a little bit more, get up to imp, and then, you know, kind of close the game with bracer, trebuchets. Heavy cav archery probably not worth, not even necessary, but who knows. I would love to see maybe like a castle by here could be really good, or even a castle over here. But somewhere, just make it tricky for your opponent to take wood. This is becoming a wood game quite quickly, and oh my goodness, Hera losing a couple more vills on this side. It looks like this tower is going to go up. And Hera has scouted this TC. Oh, Neozz, you mad genius. Walling in his opponent's vills, so they have no choice but to run past their ravenous knights who are there to clean them up once the TC goes down. Okay, it looks like Hera is kind of sallying forth from his Ravage base with White Feather Guard to take out the Mangonels, sniping a monk as well. That's really nice for Hera. These small kind of wins keeping him in the game for now. You can tell, okay, Neozz is dropping quite a defensive castle. I feel like that's maybe a little bit too defensive, but at the same time, Neozz doesn't actually have that many military units on the field at the moment, so I suppose he doesn't feel like he has the ability to keep this up. Hera trying to put up this tower, I'm not sure whether that's going to go up or not. And Neozz is finally up to Imp. Once Bracer comes in, I feel like this is going to be a very hard game for Hera indeed. Hera doing a miracle by still having this TC up, really making Neozz work to take this TC down. More cavalry archery production. However, how many rangers does Neozz have at this point? He lost most of his rangers earlier in the game. Okay, he's got 3 now, so maybe he could drop another one. I suppose at this point he's not floating a lot of gold or anything, so he is gonna maybe he doesn't need the 3rd range. That being said, I feel like this castle is like, it could be right here, like it could completely eviscerate this town center. Obviously Hera is kind of going all in on the kind of White Feather Guard at this point. Whoops, my bad. My dog just went nuts because the door just went, but let's continue. So it looks like Hera is kind of going all in at this point. He doesn't have the all-in castle age. He does have a very well-established food eco now, which is very impressive between the fishing ships and then also the farming economy and whatnot. I suspect that White Feather Guard don't trade very well versus the cavalry archers. Obviously, once Bracer comes in, that is. I would have also thought that perhaps once that the samurai probably trades pretty well against them, them being infantry unique unit. But you know, who knows? We'll see what happens. Bracer coming in now for Neozz, and this is where things are going to be very tricky for Hera. Hera's still got the score lead, so good for him. Thumrun coming in. And, ooh, Hera's taken quite a nice fight over here. Neozz just needs to build up that cavalry archer mass. Hera up to Imperial himself now. What a crazy game. And Hera is kind of doing a little bit of raiding over here. The White Feather Guard just about being mopped up by these units over here on this side, and Hera is forced into White Feather Guard and Skirmisher. This will be quite an interesting comp. It looks like right now, like, Hera just needs to hold for Imp, and he's not even doing that. Like, he is pushing forward during this time. He's buying himself time he needs. It looks like this is going to be a very much an uphill battle for Neozz. That being said, Neozz does have 3 relics, so if this game does go late, he should be able to take this. He is also losing this castle, it looks like. That being said, Hera does have a couple of White Feather Guard in here, so I wouldn't be surprised if he sneaks out and snipes these trebs. That castle is going to go down, regardless of whether the trebs are saved though. And yeah, okay, I love that. Neozz adding in the samurai, samurai should eat these. Yeah, look at how much damage one samurai does. This treb isn't going to go down. That's nuts. That's how quickly samurai eat White Feather Guard apparently. Okay, so now Neozz has a combo of units. He's got a couple of castles. He's got a couple of archer rangers. He can go cavalry archer. He's got decent gold income, so for now he can go for a bit of a double gold comp of cavalry archer with a couple of samurai sprinkled in, and this is also kind of tricky. Hera has the high ground here, and it's not like Neozz is able to use his bracer range like when he's fighting this to defend his tribe, so I don't actually like this fight that Neozz is taking here. Bringing the samurai in, I think that makes 100% sense. It might even be that samurai are the power unit that Neozz needs to end this game. Hera trying to set up some raids. Kind of love that. That's very Hera style. He's not going to be able to do that though. Looks like this TC is going to go down faster than it's being built, so it's going to be completely obliterated off the map. And Samurai are now pouring forth with the lovely hill bonus here for the cavalry archers. This is going to be really tricky for Hera to take. I don't think this is going to be a great fight for him. Castle over here, that is a great castle, fantastic castle from Neozz. And I mean, Hera's still got like a decent economy over here. I wouldn't hate Hera Neozz to put a couple of towers by here if he's not going to drop a castle. It looks like he should be able to drop a castle soon with 27 on stone. And he's pushing forward slowly but surely. He's got 4 trabs. His samurai are massing up. And this is looking really tricky for Hera now. +2 defense coming in for the samurai. They should start to hold up a little bit better against skirmishers. At the moment, without the last couple armor upgrade, I wouldn't hate taking fights with the skirmishers against the samurai, but they're not going to be able to hold up for too long. This is, after all, the age of skirms, right? That's the current meta. Anyway, it looks like Hera is holding on for dear life once again. He has got a massive amount of gold, so maybe he's kind of thinking that he can play the long game here. We've just clocked in at just over an hour. Another town center over here. This is something that I've kind of noticed, like when Hera's under a lot of pressure, he starts putting down more and more town centers. It's probably a good thing for something I should be writing down in my own notes to do when I'm under a lot of pressure. Another castle coming up for Neozz over here. Neozz's economy is very hard to raid here between the TCs and the castles all over the map. And final armor upgrade coming in now for Neozz. It looks like this may well be the end of the line, the nail in the coffin of Hera for this game at least. Bolt magazine coming in now for Hera. Is that the... Am I right in saying, is that extra projectiles for archer units and the siege wagon? I'm not super familiar with the newer servs. It's gonna do something. That's what it's gonna do. And we're seeing guard tower now come in for Neozz. That's really nice. I wouldn't be surprised if you're going down that route, and if you've got 19 on stone, you may as well go for it and get some Yasama towers up as well, which would be really nice. Hera is starting to get the traction trebs out himself, so he should be able to start pushing castles. I feel like traction trebs are very flexible, much more flexible than regular trebuchets, but if we get the Japanese unique tat, obviously the trebs pack so much faster for the Japanese player. Do we have that yet? No, neither of the unique tats are researched yet. And this is Neozz kind of starting to be like, Hera, I respect you, man, but please get out of my game. This castle right here endangers most of Hera's wood income. It puts Hera in a really tricky spot, and I don't think Hera is going to be able to push it back. That being said, Hera does have the military advantage right now, 70 military units to 54. But Neozz is actually kind of pop capped. He's got a lot more vills, and he's also got elite samurai, right? So bearing in mind how much of this army is skirms, he should be able to kind of take this army, I would think. That being said, Hera remains Hera, so who knows? We're seeing Katapurutu come in now. We'll see Katapurutu Trabs face off against the Traction Trabs. This hill is massive for Hera. This is not a fight that you necessarily want to take. That being said, I suppose Hera doesn't have any gold income. Neozz has quite a lot of gold income. He's also got 3 relics, so he might feel like he's got the resources to burn here. And these samurai are still chopping through the skirms. Oh my goodness, did you see that treb shot on the mass skirms over here? It looks like there's the GG. My goodness, what a game. That was an absolutely insane game there. What a treat. Like, it's so fantastic that we've still got, Hera is still Hera. Hera is still such a beast at the game, but we still have players players like Neozz who are in the top 100, and they are able to compete and they are able to take the occasional game off the top players. Massive kudos to Neozz, and many thanks, Hera, for providing an absolutely awesome spectacle. What a game. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, guys. Also, this is going to be a recurring series, so if you'd like to kind of support the channel, it means a lot to me if you like the videos. Apparently it's really good for the algorithm. Also, subscribe. It still kind of helps the channel grow, and it kind of shows me that you guys are interested. All right, I'm going to call it that, but it's been an absolute pleasure. Bye.